everybody will only have to wait 10 years. So after 10 years, you can get 3.5 million and you can use it to do as you please. We want you to renovate the existing property, of course, but there have been persons who may make a special case. They're not living there anymore, and so they want to assist with another property. We do accommodate that as well.
All right, Sir Chair, I'm looking at the brief that was given to us, and in particular, the Catherine Estate Housing Development, right? It's in terms of the priority index, that persons with more points will get the privilege of getting the units. So I have approximately 8 persons from the constituency that I represent that are all young persons, like Kemoy, and they will tell you that they have not reached to the index in terms of the points. What can be done to accommodate those persons that are really in need, because what they can benefit from the trust is in the ballpark of this development. How can you accommodate those persons?
Okay, so the first thing I wanted to say to you members is that the schemes are limited. And so it is always useful to educate your constituents that there are other options as well. I just wanted to make you, help us to market that idea of buying a lot and building, because it is sometimes easy for persons, or easier for a young person who would only have been contributing 5 years, because they would have to go up against persons who have been contributing 20 and 30 years. However, to directly address your point, we have ways in which we can assist, and one of them is the parent assist. So what that means is that if your parent had been contributing to the NHT and had not accessed the benefit, they can now give you their points. So you would have a better chance of accessing that facility based on the fact that they may have been contributing for 20, 30, 40 years. They would have a better chance. The second thing is, in fact, this special benefit order that is before you, which is what we call our reservation for young adults. Again, the Prime Minister, in his speech this year, has implemented an upgrade in that now 10% or more can be allocated from the schemes. So what that means is that going forward, and when we have to come back here, you will seat chairman and members, that more units will be reserved for young persons, and so they will have an even greater opportunity. They can try to access it in the main queue with their parent, but they'll now have a second chance under what we call our young adults reservation. What we have decided to, and this is again, the Prime Minister had announced this, is that it's no longer going to be 40 years. I hope, Mr. Carr, that doesn't exclude you, but I know you already have housing. But we have dropped it to 35. No, he told me he got one. He has one, but we'll try and get him another one, right? But very importantly, the reservation, the numbers are going to increase. So what that will mean is that you will find that persons at the lower band, and we have moved it now going forward, effective July 1, to 35. So younger persons will benefit, and more persons, because now we're looking at a minimum of 10%. It means that if we have a large housing scheme, we can offer more.
Again, they are also, I was on the phone for a long while yesterday, and I was really depressed after. And I went home because of what a constituent told me, that she wrote to the Prime Minister to use her benefit after trying for so long to obtain a property through NHD. And to date, she's still not able to. I just stress on the point that I'm not begging, I'm asking to use my points. She would have qualified for 5.5, and I think she has 1/4 to go. and she's staring at a stumbling block all the time, to the point where she's suicidal, to be honest. And it really, I was basically helpless as a member of parliament to assist her. What can be done in cases like those for persons who are below the threshold and below the required amount that they could benefit from NHD to obtain their home? Because these persons might not have the will and the collaterals to go to a financial entity to add to that, to get a loan to really purchase even one of the properties. For example, Catherine Estate. How can accommodation be made to individuals like these?
Okay, so what I would say is that if you give me the details, we can look at it. There have been times, for example, where persons have been selected for units and they can't afford it, and then we would offer what we call our deferred mortgage. What that means is that even though the unit is being sold for 10 million, if you can only afford 6 million, we'll give you the unit. And then over time, you can pay the 4 million when you get lump sums. So we have a lot of creative programs to assist persons. I don't know the specifics of that case, but if you share it with me after the meeting, we'd be willing to. And of course, you know, the board, we sometimes do special submissions for persons such as those to see how we can assist.
All right, thank you very much. Any further?
Thank you, Chairman. Just for clarity again, in the Perth Phase 1A, the final allocation is the same as the recommended. It's not that we are recommending only 3 to all. We're recommending 18 in the final allocation on this paper, signed by Camille. It didn't change. We're recommending 18, not 3.
Thank you, Chairman. All right, so the numbers have not changed, but what happens under the final allocation, there is a breakdown as to the type. So you will see where it says 1 unit and 2 lots, each, right, each. Yes, oh, that was, okay, so we will take note of that. I think if we had inserted each. So the numbers are the same, it's just that this gave specifications on the type of units. Similarly, for the young adults, there are 11, and the breakdown there is 6 units and 5 lots. So it is consistent. Thank you.
Okay, members, any further question, observations? Okay, there'll be no further observation. I take it that the committee has no objection to this order, and therefore I will rely on our clerk to prepare the report for the sitting of the House. I want to thank members for your presence here today. Look forward.
I'm sorry to break you, Sir Chair, but can I ask one more question as to if the trust can advise the committee as to when the policy will be implemented for young professionals to have access to cheaper units and also units that are livable, and what the Prime Minister has announced, that a 1-bedroom studio and they can sell it back to the trust, etc., as to a timeline as to when those will be in effect.
Okay, so the timeline that we're working for is a very short one. I know that some of the units are already being built. And so I would say that within the year, that is the timeline that we're looking for. You would recognize that it takes a while to get the plans approved and then to construct. The good thing is that we already had some in place and were in construction. And that is why we can say that within a year we will be able to implement.
I know I said one last question, but will that be for the entire country or just in selective areas?
I'm not delaying. I was just waiting on the.
I understand.
Right. So in
It's
selective
not a good
areas,
color to wait on, but we'll have to see.
it really is in selected areas, and that is because of the timeline that it takes to build. We do have construction in other areas, other parishes, but it takes a while. It takes some time to get all the approvals from the various agencies and then for construction to start. So it's really right now in specific areas that we're looking to have that rolled out pretty quickly.
And I'm sure Portmore is in that specific area.
I will check on it, member.
All right, thanks. I'm in agreement, Sir Chair.
Thank you very much, Member Miller. Thank you very much, members.
Yes, no objection, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. I also want to thank the team from the OPM and the Housing Trust for your presence here today. I wish you a safe journey on the roads. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairman and members. We enjoy coming here. Thank you.
Good. Members, we will move to the item 8, which is any other business. There's no other business. And date of next meeting, as you know, this committee is subject to referral from the House. So that will determine the date of our next meeting. Thank you again for coming. I move for the adjournment.
So moved. Let me see a second.
Moved by Member Chin and seconded by Member Miller. Thank you again. This meeting is now stands adjourned.